Okay, so you know how much we all love sports, right?
Right.
And well, a lot of us, we like to put a little something down on the game every now and
Oh,
then.
of course.
But let's be honest, trying to find like a surefire strategy that actually makes you money consistently,
Yeah.
it can be a real pain. It's like trying to, find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
You do all the research, pour over stats, try to predict the unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, you end up, frustrated.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting is that despite all of this uncertainty with traditional sports betting, there's actually a method out there that claims to kind of, completely eliminate risk and guarantee profit.
Oh, come on. Is there really?
Yeah, it's called arbitrage betting.
Arbitrage betting. All right, so that's what we're diving deep into today. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
Our source material for this deep dive is this really detailed essay titled Arbitrage Betting, the Art of Risk-Free Sports Wagering. And honestly, I'm a little skeptical. I mean, risk-free sports betting, how is that even possible?
I know it sounds a little too good to be true, right?
It does.
But the basic idea is that you're taking advantage of these little differences in the odds that different sports books offer. Sometimes they'll have slightly different opinions on a game,
Okay.
and that's where the magic happens. So, for example, let's say we've got a simple baseball game.
Right.
One sports book is favoring Team A, let's say at plus 110 odds.
Okay.
And another bookie, they like Team B at plus 110 for the same game.
So it's almost like they're contradicting each other in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of it. So instead of picking a side and just hoping for the best with arbitrage betting, you're actually placing bets on both outcomes.
Both teams. So you're covering all your bases.
Exactly. So in this case, let's say you bet $100 on each team at those plus 110 odds.
Okay.
Doesn't matter who wins, you're guaranteed to make $10 profit.
Wow. So that's basically how arbitrage betting works.
Exactly. You're exploiting these little discrepancies to kind of lock in a return no matter what happens in the game.
But okay, I can already see where this might get a little tricky. I mean, trying to find these opportunities manually would be a nightmare, right?
It could be a full-time job, honestly.
Yeah.
You'd be constantly checking odds across tons of different sports books, doing lightning-fast calculations.
Uh-huh.
And even then, you'd probably miss out on a lot of opportunities.
It sounds exhausting.
Yeah, but that's where technology comes in handy.
Okay.
There are tools out there like ArbBets that do all the heavy lifting for you.
Oh, so it's like having a little helper bot working behind the scenes.
Exactly. ArbBets is constantly scanning all the major sports books, looking for these profitable discrepancies in real time, and then it alerts you so you can pounce.
So it's like having insider information, but it's totally legal.
Exactly. It's all about leveraging technology to your advantage.
All right. So that's how you find the opportunities. But then what?
Well, then comes the fun part, actually placing the bets.
Okay, so let's break down the whole process of arbitrage betting step by step. So step one, finding those golden opportunities, that's where ArbBets comes in.
Exactly. It does all the hard work for you so you don't have to spend hours glued to your computer screen comparing odds.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver.
It is. And time is money, especially for folks who are busy with work and life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say we've got ArbBets and it's found us a potential arbitrage opportunity. What's the next step?
So the next step is where things get a little more technical. We need to figure out exactly how much to bet on each outcome to ensure we actually lock in that guaranteed profit.
That's where the math comes in.
Exactly. We need to calculate our wagers very precisely.
And I'll admit, math isn't exactly my strong suit.
Don't worry about that. ArbBets has got you covered.
It does.
They have this awesome built-in calculator that does all the heavy lifting for you.
No more spreadsheets?
Nope. Just plug in the odds that ArbBets has found.
Uh-huh.
And the calculator tells you exactly how much to wager on each team.
That's amazing. So let's go back to that baseball example. Remember we had Team A at plus 110 and Team B also plus 110 on different sports books.
Right.
Instead of racking our brains trying to figure out how much to bet.
Exactly. You just let the calculator do its thing.
And it would tell us to bet $100 on each team to guarantee that $10 profit.
Exactly. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
That's so cool. All right, so we found the opportunity, calculated our wagers. What's next?
Now comes the most important part, placing the bets.
And I imagine speed is key here.
Right? Absolutely. Those odds can change in the blink of an eye.
So we've got to act fast.
Yeah, we got to seize the moment.
And that's where having a tool like ArbBets is really invaluable.
Definitely. It doesn't just find the opportunities for you. It also shows you the most efficient way to place those bets across different platforms.
So it's like having a personal guide walking you through the whole process.
Exactly. It makes everything so much smoother.
Now, I know we've mainly been talking about money line bets,
Yeah.
but this arbitrage betting thing, it can apply to other types of bets as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about that.
Well, let's look at some more examples to see just how versatile arbitrage betting can be.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so let's say we're looking at a game between the Angels and the Royals.
Okay.
One sports book has the Angels at -105,
Okay.
while another bookie has the Royals at +110 for the same game.
So again, we've got those slightly different odds between the two.
Right, and that's all we need.
Okay, so how do we turn that into an arbitrage opportunity?
Well, ArbBets would come in clutch here.
It would.
Yeah, it would tell us exactly how much we need to bet on each team
Okay.
to make sure we lock in a profit no matter who wins.
And what would it say in this case?
So in this scenario, ArbBets might recommend betting like $107.56 on the Angels
Okay.
and $100 on the Royals.
All right.
And by doing that, we'd be guaranteed a profit of $2.44 regardless of the outcome.
245. I mean, it's not a ton of money.
True, but the beauty of arbitrage betting is consistency.
Okay.
It's not about hitting those huge wins. It's about those small but guaranteed profits that add up over time.
So it's more about the long game.
Exactly. You're playing the numbers game.
I see. And this strategy, it's not just limited to money line bets, right?
Nope, not at all.
Mm.
We can find arbitrage opportunities with other types of wagers, too.
Like what?
We'll take prop bets, for example.
Okay.
Let's say we're looking at a prop bet on a pitcher's strikeouts.
Right.
One sports book might be offering +125 odds for over 6.5 strikeouts.
Okay.
And then another book might have +130 for under 6.5 strikeouts for the same pitcher.
So we've got those differing odds again. I'm sensing a theme here.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the key. We're looking for those discrepancies.
Okay, so how do we play this one?
Well, in this case, we would place calculated bets on both the over and the under.
So no matter how many strikeouts the pitcher gets, we're covered.
Precisely. We've essentially locked in a profit either way.
I like it. Now, what about a situation where the odds themselves are constantly changing,
Oh, yeah. That happens all the time in sports betting.
especially as we get closer to game time?
Definitely. It's actually another great opportunity for arbitrage betting.
Really? How so?
Well, let's imagine you placed a bet on the Tigers at +110,
Okay.
and then suddenly the line shifts. Maybe there's some breaking news about a player injury or public opinion swings in a certain direction.
Happens all the time.
And now the Tigers are the favorites at -110.
So the odds have moved against our initial bet.
Right, but that shift has actually created an arbitrage opportunity.
It has.
We can now place a bet on the opposing team at those new odds.
To guarantee a profit.
Exactly. It's all about capitalizing on that market volatility.
Okay. I'm really starting to see the appeal of this arbitrage betting thing. But
Hmm.
let's be real here. There got to be some risks involved, right?
Of course, no system is perfect. There are definitely some challenges we need to be aware of.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest risks is making a calculation error. Yeah, I can see that.
Even a small mistake can wipe out your profit margin and lead to a loss.
And that's where ArbBets comes in handy again.
Exactly. It takes the human error element out of the equation.
By doing all those calculations for us.
Precisely. So we can be confident that our bets are accurate.
All right, so calculation errors, those are one risk. What else should we be aware of?
Another thing to keep in mind is the possibility of bet cancellations.
Oh, right. Sometimes sportsbooks void bets.
Yeah, it can happen for various reasons. Maybe there was a technical glitch or the game gets postponed unexpectedly.
So it's not always a smooth sailing experience.
It's not always perfect, but hey, that's part of the excitement of sports betting, right?
I guess so. And then there's always that issue of rapid odds movement.
That's right. Those arbitrage windows can close pretty quickly.
So we've really got to be on our toes.
We do. Speed is of the essence.
And that's another area where a tool like ArbBets can give us an edge.
Definitely. It alerts us to those opportunities in real time and helps us place our bets efficiently.
So we don't miss out.
Now, I've also heard that some sports books aren't too fond of arbitrage bettors.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Some of them see it as a way of exploiting their system.
And what can happen if they catch us doing it?
Whoa, they could limit our account or even ban us altogether.
Yikes. So how do we avoid that?
Well, one strategy is to diversify our betting across multiple platforms.
So don't put all our eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And we should also try to be discreet with our wagers.
So don't draw attention to ourselves.
Hey, we don't want to make it obvious that we're arbitrage betting.
That makes sense. So basically fly under the radar a bit.
Exactly. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game, but with the right approach, we can minimize the risk.
Okay, so we've covered a lot about the risks and challenges. Now let's talk about the benefits.
Sounds good.
what are some of the key advantages of using a tool like ArbBets for arbitrage betting?
Well, first and foremost, it saves us a ton of time.
Right. No more manually comparing odds across different sports books.
Exactly. ArbBets does all that for us in real time.
And it also has that built-in calculator.
Yep, no more spreadsheets or trying to do complex math in our heads.
The calculator ensures that our bets are accurate and we're maximizing our potential profit.
That's right. And let's not forget about the user-friendly interface.
Yeah, ArbBets makes it easy for anyone to get started with arbitrage betting, even if they're not a tech whiz.
Definitely. Plus, they have tons of helpful guides and tutorials on their website.
So we can learn the ropes and really master this strategy.
Exactly. They have articles on everything from the basics of arbitrage betting to more advanced techniques.
It sounds like ArbBets really is an all-in-one solution.
It is. It's the perfect tool for anyone who's serious about making consistent profits from sports betting.
All right, so we've explored the mechanics of arbitrage betting, looked at some real-world examples, and discussed the potential risks and rewards. What's the big takeaway here for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that arbitrage betting can be a legitimate way to make money from sports betting,
Yes.
but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It takes effort and a little bit of know-how.
Exactly. It's all about making calculated decisions, minimizing risk, and having the right tools to help us along the way.
So we've talked a lot about the ins and outs of arbitrage betting,
We have.
and it's clear that it's not some magical, easy money scheme.
Definitely not.
It takes work.
Yeah.
It takes strategy.
It does.
And it definitely requires a good understanding of, the whole process.
And a bit of patience, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people who are tired of the ups and downs of traditional sports betting,
Yeah.
where luck plays such a huge role,
Right.
this arbitrage betting thing, it sounds pretty appealing.
I can see why. It's like taking control of your own destiny in a way.
Yeah, instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best.
Exactly. With arbitrage betting, you're using math and logic to minimize risk and guarantee a profit.
But even with a tool like ArbBets guiding us, we still need to be smart about it, right?
Absolutely.
Right,
We can't just throw money around willy-nilly.
right. We still need to manage our bankroll responsibly.
Exactly. Set limits, bet within our means, and never chase losses.
Those are wise words.
Ah.
That's good advice for any kind of betting, really.
It is.
So, okay, let's get back to the big question here.
Okay.
Can arbitrage betting really lead to consistent profits in sports wagering?
Well, based on everything we've learned from our source material,
Uh-huh.
I'd say the answer is yes.
A definite yes.
Yes, but with a few caveats.
Of course, there are always caveats.
It's not like, you set it and forget it type of thing.
Right.
It requires active involvement. You got to be on the lookout for those opportunities.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to adapt as the sports betting landscape changes.
So it's not completely passive,
Not really. You got to put in some effort.
but with the right tools like ArbBets,
Right.
it can definitely be a lot smoother and more efficient.
Definitely, ArbBets takes care of a lot of the heavy lifting for us.
So for our listeners out there who are intrigued by this whole arbitrage betting thing,
Yeah.
what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
I'd say don't go into it expecting to become a millionaire overnight.
Right. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
Focus on making consistent, calculated bets over time.
Uh-huh.
And remember, patience and discipline are key.
And don't be afraid to use those tools that can make the whole process easier.
Like ArbBets.
Exactly. ArbBets can be a game changer for anyone who's serious about arbitrage betting,
It's like having a personal guide in your pocket.
leading you to those profitable opportunities.
Exactly.
So what do you think? Is arbitrage betting something you'd be willing to try?
I think it's definitely worth exploring.
Yeah. It could be a whole new way to enjoy sports and maybe even make a little extra cash on the side.
And who knows, maybe even a lot of extra cash.
All right, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating world of arbitrage betting.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We covered a lot of ground today,
We did.
but the world of sports betting is always changing. So it's important to stay informed and keep learning.
Absolutely.
And most importantly, have fun out there.
That's the key to
Sorry.
this.
So until next time, happy betting, everyone.